Hi, it's Paculus here, and lately I've been kind of thinking a little bit about time and how it's so different depending on your perspective on it. Like, like if you're a little kid, you're just waiting and waiting and waiting for Christmas to come, and it feels like it takes decades. And then when you get a little bit older, you might be watching a little kid sort of try to formulate a word, and then you turn away and look back 2 seconds later, and they're driving. It's kind of like that with. I felt like a little bit like that with March this year. Like March 2020 feels like it was a decade ago, or it feels like it was just yesterday, depending on the mood I'm in, I guess. I don't know. It was weird around here not having any students around. It was so quiet, and even the school horses thought it was pretty odd. Oh. And we all got used to it, I guess. But I had time to finish the course that I've always promised I would do. That's pretty exciting. We had more time and no excuses left, so I had to get it done. So that's been great. So we'll be doing some short little video series coming up. I'll send you something in an email about it. So the other thing about time I've been thinking about is with Sadie. Now Sadie is she's a Belgian cross mare, and we had her since she's 3 years old. She grew into one of the best school horses, just lovely. And this past year, she started to get into some kind of trouble. Like, she started to lose muscle, first of all. A friend of ours, actually, is the one who noticed, because, you see a horse every day, you don't always pick up on the changes, but Eric used to ride her all the time, but he hadn't seen her for a while, and he noticed that she was starting to lose her top line a little bit. So we had to get the vet out and everything, and we did tests, all sorts of tests on her, and everything came back okay. So it was a bit of a mystery, And it seemed to have something to do with her cycle too, because when she would come into season, sometimes there would be pain associated with that for some reason. And at one point we did an ultrasound on her, and they found she had a really large follicle, but after that passed, everything seemed okay. So again, like a mystery, right? So just a couple of days before Christmas, I came out to the barn, and she had like what I would call hives all over where her head collar would normally go, and on her body. And so we called the vet, and it just went downhill from there. She started to lose all her hair, and her weight just started to plummet, like just drop terribly. And so we did all these, again, test, and finally the decision was that we would do an ultrasound, and the guess was that she was probably just riddled with tumors, and that if that were the case, and we saw that with the ultrasound, we were going to make the decision that we would put her down that day. So, it was pretty awful, and we're kind of dreading it, but kind of expecting the worst, right? Well, the ultrasound is clear, right? No tumors at all. So we thought, well, you know what? Let's give her time, right? Being that we are blessed to be in the position that we could do that. So we decided in January, we just thought, let's hang in and see if we can get her to the spring, where there's some nice fresh grass. And so we did, and then her appetite started to improve, and even though she was eating more than she's ever eaten in her life, she was still losing weight. Like, I'd take her blanket off sometimes and go, oh gee. But again, she seemed happy and perky and glad to be alive. So I thought, as long as she's eating and doesn't seem to be suffering any, let's just wait and see. And so we did. We kept feeling like if we could just get to the hot weather and give her a bath, and kind of, because she had a lot of skin eruptions and things. You just wanted to get it clean, to sort of start with a fresh, clean start. But again, time, we kept waiting for spring, and sometimes it felt like spring would never come, right? It was just like, oh my goodness. But anyway, it did come, and we gave her a bath, and just like we hoped, the green grass of summer is seeming to help her a lot. She's actually starting to put weight on now, and we're treating her for an autoimmune disorder, which might be the key, really. And we hope. Anyway, but the key is that the bottom line is that she's starting to look fantastic. So Sadie has become our unofficial emblem of renewal this year, and we're grateful that we've survived the lockdown more or less intact, that we're thankful we had the time to fulfill the promise that we had kept for many years, and we're especially grateful that we were in a position to kind of wait it out with Sadie and hope for the best like this. She's looking way better. So I hope you're having a good week. I hope everything's going okay for you in your life, and we will talk to you next week. Remember to thank your horse.